Welcome back to our solve. Blah, 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 blah. Welcome back to our video series on creating a maze solving GUI. We're going to pick up in this left off last time. Let's put clear at the bottom as a solve. We'll have which means we need another button. Just the same way we made a solve button, we're going to make a clear button. Another private instance variable. But clear button. And so inside of our constructor, after we make a solve button, our add action listener here, go ahead and space here and put clear button. Here. And so same basic stuff. I'm just going to copy this, paste it. I'm going to delete most of it. So clear button, action for stuff. Oh. I'm going to put. And before we go any further, I want to see what this looks like. We add this button at the bottom. I'll go ahead and compile on this. But if it looks bad, then yeah. So after we've added that, we need to add panel here. Problem is that right now we have our solve button south. Only really allowed to have one thing in each region, so center, northeast, southwest. So what that means is we actually need a J panel, like store this stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a J panel, button panel. Oh. Okay. And let's see, we're gonna say button panel dot set layout to let's go ahead and take a look at some layouts really quick. The link to this page is in the comments for the description of the so there's a bunch of different layout managers in Java. So there's border layout, that's what we're using right now. Notice that there's south, center, west, box layout, card layout, flow layout, grid bag layout, grid layout, group layout, and layout. Lots of them. I'm going to go ahead and use the flow layout for this JPanel. And it says it's the default layout manager for every JPanel. So what that means is when we add things, it should just kind of go in there from left to right. That's how I want these buttons. Button to just go. And try that. Which means if it's the default, I may not need to do a set layout. So I'm gonna actually get rid of that. But instead of solve button being added to the J frame, I'm going to do a button panel dot add solve button, and then button panel add so then add button panel mouth. See how this works. Cool. That's better than I could have expected. Solve. All right, so how do we go about clearing? We need to clear the maze. which means that I think it would be nice if we had some way, because remember we have our maze yet. Nice to be able to like tell that maze to clear itself. That's what I'm going to try. I'm going to say maze panel dot get maze, because that's how we get the maze or maze panel. And then we're going to say clear. Clear. Now, of course, clear is a method that doesn't exist yet. Go back to our maze class. Okay. So in our maze class, we have, of course, our init method. And so, you know, there's a couple things that I shortcutted when we first did this. In particular, I made it so that the start was always at the top left and the end was bottom right. But we're starting to run into cases now, I feel like, where that may no longer be a good idea. In particular, right now, where we want to clear the maze, but remember the start and end already got marked as valid. Kind of lost track of them. So I'm going to go ahead and remember we have our node. I'm going to say node start. Node. Go ahead and make those private. So when we create the maze, we're going to have to set those start and the end. So when we generate a random maze, then essentially, right, this we're setting start, right? Setting the start at 0. And we're setting the end right here. So I think what we might be able to do is just say, okay, you know what? Start equals this node. End equals this node. Okay, so instead of tying start and end to actual coordinates, we're going to set it to and then we'll do the same thing when we load a maze. Where we load all the way down here. And right, so right here, if t equals s, then we're setting the start. So then what we'll do is say start equals rc. Okay. And equal r. Right, so the idea being that in the same way where we figured out where to put the s and where to put the f. Now we have a way of keeping track of where the start is and where the end is, even after we've solved the maze. So which start, which one end. That's good. So we now need to write a clear, wait a second. Wait a second. We already have a reset method. Resets the visitor spaces back to blanks and start. Oh, wait, we already have set. Okay, cool. Except instead of assuming that we're starting there, we can say start, dot set start. End, dot set end. All right, so that way we can be sure, because again, we haven't gotten there yet, but I foresee an issue where what if I put my start and my end in someplace else and then I go to reset it? It's gonna break. Okay, so but that does simplify things because that means we've already done this. So inside of so after I make that select change, I go back into my maze frame and it won't be clear, it'll be set. Okay. Now, and then I think we're gonna have to tell it to like after we solve, we had to tell. Go ahead and test that. That might actually be it. Fingers crossed. Solve. Here. Aha. Solve. Here. Random maze. Or we'll solve it. Here. Depth first. Solve. Ah, so see, now we can actually see that solving with a depth first, right, paired with star, a star gives us a shorter solution. What about breadth first? Breadth first should give us the same as star, I think. Yeah. Cool. Maze. Do a breadth first. Solve it. Happen. Here. Depth first. Solve it. And we get the same solution in that case. Maze. Sure. So now we're running into, I don't remember which algorithm we're using right now. Right, so I think changing these to check marks might make a lot of sense. So I can click up here, algorithm, and see which one I'm using, and or adding a status bar at the bottom. So yeah, we might want to add a status bar at the bottom. My worry is that it's going to start getting really. I think just having a check box up here would make a lot more sense. And then we have a checkbox here for show animation. That's first. I'll solve that. Clear it. Star. I solve. So yeah. Solve. There's a star. Here. First. So we can see there's many times that we're getting the same solution. Now the other thing that I'm thinking as I look at this is I would like a way to be able to resize, right? So right now it's a 10 by 10. I kind of like a way of changing the dimension, right? So I don't know if we have like an entry box down here for the size where I adjust it down here and then I go to new random maze, or when I click new random maze, it asks me the size. Or do we want it to be like a fixed list of possible sizes? Right, so like you can 10 by 10 or 10 by 20 or 20 by 20 or 30 by 30. Maybe have another maze. So I'm not sure about that right now. And I'm not going to figure that out just yet. So I want you to think about which one you should do. If you were using this maze to for something, again, I'm not sure exactly what we use this for yet. What would you prefer? Would you prefer a selection of sizes? Would you prefer we can like type in numbers, which I guess typing in numbers could possibly have, what if you enter invalid numbers? We have to worry a whole lot more about like cases. So a drop down box makes the most sense. I don't know. So give that some thought, and I look forward to hearing what you think about that. So, yeah. So I think that's going to possibly do it for this video. Let's go ahead and take a look at. Go ahead and take a look back at our to-do list. It's got our menu bar here. Got a clear solution button. That ended up not being. I moved it back to a button, but what are you going to do? So I think now, and I think we're just going to keep on adding to our menu. I'm just going to go ahead and add this over here. Select maze size. I think I said we're going to do. That's going to happen probably before we load from the file. Let's see what else. Select maze size. Want to be able to. Of course, we have to enable animation still. Indicate which algorithm currently selected. That's definitely something soon. And yeah, this might update as we go too. So you think of anything that I haven't mentioned in this video, then make sure you uh, send me a message for it, or to the class channel. Maybe make a suggestion on something auto that we could add to our back burner as a want, or something that we make. Thanks for watching this video, and we will see you next time.